Locker room to your radio. Sports 1440 is Edmonton's sports leader. Real talk, big personalities, and your texts. It's interactive. It's fun. It's where Edmonton talks sports. Sports 1440.
They're pumped for the playoffs at Selly Sports Bar and Lounge. The place to catch every hit, every goal, every Selly. Not a bad seat in the house. Tons of big screens and a menu with something for everyone from small bites to big bites. Plus, game night food and drink features and Oilers playoff watch parties. Selly's Sports Bar and Lounge at all 3 Century Casino locations, Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
Every day is game day at Century Casino.
Hi, Dennis from Weiss Johnson, and I'm joined by a very important member of our team, Jody. She coordinates our crew and job packages for all furnace replacements, air conditioner, and heat pump installs.
And Dennis, I've got to say, our installers really are the best. They've all been with us for a long time, and we never use subcontractors.
So you know that whomever is in your home is a Weiss Johnson employee, not someone hired out just to get things done. So the next time you need us, ask for Jody.
Always happy to help.
Visit weiss-johnson.com today.
You haven't set your lineup yet, right? It's Fantasy Frenzy with Halley and Douglas on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky.
It's 11:01. Good morning. Thank you for joining us here on Fantasy Frenzy, brought to you by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, the home of Alberta's best beef jerky, online at wilhaukbeefjerky.com. Only available in Leduc. Go check them out. Tell them we sent you. See what Trent thinks of, well, the Oilers game, of course, but also the Cowboys draft. The Dallas Cowboys getting praised for what they did over the weekend in Pittsburgh. And I love their first round pick. The rest, yeah, pretty good too. Lots to get to on this show today. Connor Halley here with Brandon Douglas and Josh Fenwick. Of course, the Edmonton Oilers victorious last night over the Anaheim Ducks. Probably, well, without a doubt, the Oilers' best game for parts of it. I thought there were still some parts that, like, they could do better. But they win 4-1. They're going back to Cali to take on the Ducks tomorrow night just after 8 o'clock. You also had the Minnesota Wild getting past the Dallas Stars 4-2, taking a 3-2 series lead in the process, and out in Buffalo. Cool moment when the fans say the Canadian anthem, which is a tradition out in Buffalo. They always sing the Canadian anthem or play it at least. But they were not victorious, as in overtime, David Pastrnak keeps the series going. So Buffalo now leads 3-2. They'll try to wrap that one up on the road now. Text lines 1-833-401-1440. You can also get it on the YouTube chat at Sports 1440 AM. Triple Crown 99. Hello. I'm going to go make sure I hit that like button. We can also talk some other things. But quickly, Duke, I want to give a quick shout out to the sandwich hut, Gary, for the drop off this morning. I will say that a lot of times I wake up and from like 7 to when I get here, there's no time for breakfast. I'm just reading books, playing games, feeding the little guy. So that was quite a nice treat to come into. Thank you guys for sharing it with me.
Well, the reality is it's Kevin Carius's world and the rest of us are just living in it. All Kevin has to do on air is say, I haven't had eggs in a while. I'm feeling a little peckish this morning. And not even 20 minutes later, a whole rack of the John Short breakfast sandwich show up here courtesy of Gary at the sandwich hut. So they were awesome. I scarfed mine down trying to do so between some segments and stuff while Schlemmer and Kevin were gabbing away. But yeah, really good treat. Made my morning a lot more positive, that's for sure. So big thanks to Gary.
Yeah, I will say I took the tomato out.
You're not a tomato guy.
Just a preference of mine. I like it diced and sliced in other things, but not as a whole. But man, yeah, threw that in the air fryer for a couple seconds. Absolutely delicious. Last night, absolutely delicious for the Edmonton Oilers. So we'll dive into that one here. I like I said, the Oilers game was very good. Connor Ingram, a 9.67 save percentage. You'll like that. Vasily Podkolzin, Leon Draisaitl, Kapanen continued to have success. And you saw, finally, a nice little power play goal. McDavid to Draisaitl. Draisaitl getting also on the board from a nice pass from Evan Bouchard. Bouchard also 6 feet to facilitate pot goals in. Hyman scoring as well. The 2 middle goals, Hyman and Draisaitl, I love to see because it was pucks on net. The Hyman goal was kind of a slow roller, but they find a way to get it through. Obviously, that was the end of the night for the Stahl after the first period. I thought Husso came in and played quite well, actually. But they get the job done. Now, there was the part I didn't like, Duke, and, you probably didn't like any of that game. But when the Oilers get the lead and kind of midway through the second into the third period, that was boring hockey. That was just like, I don't even want to try to make an outlet pass. I'm just going to, what was it? L2 and square onto the PlayStation, flick it out, just like nonstop. And I thought that's an opportunity to try to get some momentum going here, like working on your breakouts. And that was just boring hockey. Fans were loving it, singing along to the songs. It was karaoke at Rogers last night. But even after the game, Gregor was asking Coach Knobloch about that. And he kind of said it like, yeah, and in the moment, what do you say? You're not going to try to correct something that's already happened. You can't duplicate those things, but just encourage them to try to make that outlet pass. The message seemed to fall on deaf ears. Other than that, though, heck of a game for the Edmonton Oilers. Getting a 3-0 lead after 20 minutes, that's a pretty big key to victory, I would say.
Yeah, the first period for Edmonton was excellent. They essentially skated Anaheim into the ice. And the 3 quick goals that forced Quenneville to turn to his backup goalie, a little bit of a wake-up call to his team, give Dostal, clearly not his night. You talk about the slow roller tip that finds its way through for goal number 3 or goal number 2. No, it was 3 because he turned the puck over on that same play. Right, goal 2, excuse me. And then he turned the puck over behind the net that kind of led to the goal against. So, not his night, and that happens. And I think it wasn't necessarily a waving the white flag because the Ducks have this weird intrinsic belief in themselves to scoop themselves out of any deficit, any hole. But it just kind of goes to show that you can't do that every time. And I'll be honest, Connor, the final 42 minutes of the game, so the last couple minutes of the first period, and then periods 2 and 3, I actually thought Anaheim did a good job of, not going away without a literal fight, or maybe not a literal fight, I suppose, but some fight, because they weren't afraid to rough it up and, get into the mix a little bit, try and agitate some Oilers players. We know how effective the Ducks power play has been to maybe get themselves a power play to find their way back into the game. And they did, but the Oilers responded in kind with a very good a very quick power play goal of their own. It was not a very good power play up until that point, but a great play by Bouchard at the line holds it. Paling kind of caught cheating to maybe try and find himself a breakaway to once again pull that gap to just 1 goal in the middle of the period. But it's such a good play. Turns it into a 5-on-3 essentially from the blue line in, and the Oilers cash that to really seal the game. But I'm with you, Connor. I kind of thought the Oilers would make a little bit more of a concerted effort to bury them. Put something in their mind going back to home ice for Game 6 tomorrow that says, "Wow, we just got waxed. Like maybe we can't really skate with this team, and we are content to have gotten our 3 wins and call it some good playoff experience if this series does in fact end up going 7 and be happy with that." The way the Ducks pushed back in the final 2 periods and third period in particular, the Oilers defended well, didn't give them a ton of really good chances, but it was pretty much just regroup at center ice or your own blue and then get right back on the attack. The Oilers had essentially no offensive zone time in the third period.
No,
and I said this morning. We've had some texts about it. I understand the mindset, the perspective that says, well, you're comfortable with a 3-goal lead. No need to exert yourself more than necessary, especially for a team that is battling injuries. Just kind of ice this one. And that's what, and in the sense of ice the puck over and over again, flip it out to center ice, get a change, and do it over for the next shift. Spend the entire period inside your own zone, which they did. I don't know. I wouldn't be very happy with that if I was the Oilers. And if you're the Ducks, I'm not sure they head back home feeling that much less confident than they did going into Game 5, despite the fact that you lost by a pretty sizable margin.
Yeah, I mean, and I get that, but then I also look at it and I see, well, you still had Connor McDavid playing 24 minutes. You had Leon Draisaitl 23.
Yeah, it wasn't your fourth line rolling out there every second shift.
It was your guys, easy for them to dump it out, I suppose. But I didn't love it. And you know what I would have liked to see a little bit more of? Hey, let's gain the red line and then dump it and then run them into the boards. Yeah. Because I would have had a little bit of a vengeance kind of theme on my mind after that hit that Kreider threw on Leon Draisaitl. Mm-hmm. How that doesn't get called to me, Duke, is beyond me. Okay, hey, let's not throw a late hit on Alex Killorn. Hey, 2-time Stanley Cup champion, 1,000 games, great hockey player. He's not Leon Draisaitl. Oh, don't hook him either. We'll call that. But you know what? Take 5 strides square into the back of Leon Draisaitl, and we'll just let that one go. Like, I watched that again, thinking, did Leon turn? No. It wasn't it could have been a lot worse, but we're trying to get that out of the game. I thought NHL thinks differently, and they just kind of, whatever. The Oilers, notorious, won't go back. I mean, we're still waiting for Mikey Anderson from back in the day, and Pietrangelo got the big 2-hand slash on Draisaitl. I don't think any of those have really been addressed. So I think that it's going to be totally fine here for Chris Kreider. But man, I thought that was terrible. Ducks fan, hockey analyst.
It's a bad hit, right? There's no doubt about it. And you tweeted about it. Gregor tweeted about it. It's not an uncommon sentiment, regardless of what team you're rooting for in any given hockey game. Like those are plays that they don't really seem to have a purpose in the game. Like it's not really a hockey play. It's a guy in a vulnerable spot, and it's dangerous. Like Schlemmer brought it up this morning. Like Leon Draisaitl is a tank of a guy, and if that's someone that's a little bit smaller, a little bit more susceptible, say Matt Savoy, who got trucked pretty good on his own right by Trouba.
Yeah.
Maybe it's an uglier scene, and maybe we're talking about a major penalty being handed out or an injury possibly in the player or something. But Draisaitl wore it pretty well, all things considered. That maybe the referee looked and says, "Oh, that wasn't as bad as maybe I thought." No, it was pretty bad. Like, it's a bad play. And ditto could be said for the VL interference penalty on Ekholm, but then Doc kind of does the same thing. I think it was to Killorn. Right. And it's also pretty similar to what Wallman did when he took that bad penalty on Sunday game, right? Like the interference where the guys it's kind of partially from behind, from the side, where the guy does not see you come and doesn't know you're there. You don't have the puck. So why should you be expecting contact? Those are all pretty similar in my opinion. And from the Duck side, I kind of liked that, not the Kreider hit necessarily, but the fact that they were still being physical in the game and saying, if we're going to lose this game, we are going to try and take a little bit of a pound of flesh with us when we go. And you saw that in some net front scrums, the physical nature of the game that was, for different stretches, maybe the most hostile of a game we'd seen so far in this series, that has been pretty mild compared to some of the others across the playoffs. Yeah, good result for the Oilers, even if the entire picture, like, I don't know if you're calling that a solid 60-minute effort necessarily.
No, not at all. And like, I would have liked to see it. It would have been encouraging to see the full game, but that last 20 minutes, like, they were just content to dump it out. And
I describe it as they essentially just put it on autopilot.
Yeah.
And ran out the clock for 30 minutes.
And that's scary because, what happens if Anaheim scores that goal? Like, the pesky Ducks, they're not going to believe that they're out of it. And then it's hard to ramp it up again. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see if they come out on Thursday, play like they did in the first period. Like, okay, I think veteran team knew what they were doing. But there were some things I thought they could have built on. And you talked about the kind of the physicality. Lance on the south side texting into 1-833-401-1440. So with how physical this series has become and how little Savoy is getting accomplished, would you put him or pull him and put Trent Frederick back into the lineup? I just go through this game here. The way the Oilers were throwing their weight around in the first period. Colton Dach had 6 hits, Kapanen 4, Lazar 5, Nuge had 3, Podkolzin had 7 on his own on the back end. Never seen Connor Murphy throwing a couple. I would not be changing anything from a lineup that just won 4-1. Even if Savoy, and he only played 11:50, got a little power play time, some PK time. No, I'm not taking him out of the lineup, Duke. I still like his offensive upside. And Trent Frederick, at this point, you don't need him. You just won 4-1. What do you think?
No, I'm in lockstep with you on this. Since the first period of game one, Trent Frederick has been a non-factor in this series. And you can say that I think Savoy has at time looked a little overwhelmed, the physical nature of a playoff series. And the Ducks have, I don't know if targeting's been the right way, but they sure haven't let him have any free passes at times. Recognize that he is a smaller skill-based player, but he still does other things like kill penalties, even if the PK hasn't been particularly effective through 5 games. So it's a non-starter for me because Trent Frederick had his chance to make an impact on the series from a physical standpoint with Colton Dach, without Colton Dach, which, the old Bash Brothers mantra that I think a lot of Oilers fans had attached to them coming in to the playoffs. He's not enough of a factor in any element of the game to justify a guy that can play on any line and usually make his presence felt.
On the PK, Chris Knobloch earlier had said trying to get potentially Ty Emerson out there Maybe a little more Jake Wallman as well. It wasn't the case. Combined, they had 16 seconds. It was all Wallman. There was just the 3 power plays for the Anaheim Ducks. But on the best special teams, Darnell Nurse taken up the majority of it. Evan Bouchard, 36 seconds as well. So kind of the second most with Connor Murphy right in there as well. Power play time, Bouchard obviously racking it up. He played 27 minutes last night. I thought he was very solid, 3 points. And it is kind of funny to go back, Duke, and, after a couple games like, oh, McDavid, Draisaitl, what are they doing? No points. Well, now McDavid and Bouchard. Bouchard now has 7 points. That's tied for third, technically. Leon Draisaitl leading the way with Kirill Kaprizov at 9 points. You've got Duchesne, Lacombe, who's been great for the Ducks, and Robertson with 8 points. And then, a handful of players at 7. Connor McDavid at 6. Starting to see that burst once again with him. Those guys kind of starting to figure things out here. And Evan Bouchard, I thought, playing some good playoff hockey. In elimination games, he seems to elevate his game.
Yeah, the numbers don't lie, and his play on the ice across all 200 feet really reflected that. He was excellent defensively, breaking up plays, getting the physical game going a little bit as well, which we've seen emerge when he is at his best in the playoffs. And then you look at the offensive plays that he makes, the pass to Podkolzin on goal number 1, and then the keeping at the line on goal number 4, the power play marker. It's a risky play, right? Because all of a sudden, and we've seen it go the other way plenty of times. That's what makes good players great. The willingness to take risks at times. You don't necessarily want it every time because it can bite you. And if all of a sudden Paling strips that on a breakaway, cashes, and it's 3-2 halfway through the hockey game, we could be having a very different conversation this morning. But it isn't what happened. He makes a great heads up play. Finds McDavid, who when he's downhill like that, I don't care how many guys are standing in front of him, who's standing in front of him. Everybody just freezes because he is capable of doing anything. In this instance, he finds Draisaitl in his office over there, no chance for Husso. And for all intents and purposes, that was the hockey game, even as much as the Oilers didn't make much of an effort to put any more icing on the cake in the final 30 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was encouraging, like you say, the play on the line. Obviously, it can go the other way, but maybe for his confidence, get the swagger going here. Great little play. And that pass to Podkolzin and tape-to-tape saws, I thought that was just nasty. So, good game for the Edmonton Oilers. We'll see what happens next. The series is back on. Dwayne texting in 1-833-401-1440 says, hey, maybe they need practice holding a lead. Well, they got it. Certainly got it last night. Also said, would love to see someone destroy Trouba. I feel like that's probably a popular sentiment around the league. Trouba, not the most beloved player.
I think he is by his teammates.
But a very good player. Yeah, well, by his teammates, of course. I would hope so.
He's very physical, and we've seen it. He's laid some big hits in this series. So one on Savoy we mentioned last night, another one earlier on, and he's had a couple narrow misses too on guys through the neutral zone at the offensive blue line, stepping up where it could have been maybe a little bit worse. That's part of his game, and that's what makes him still effective, even if he doesn't have the foot speed of a guy like Jackson Lacombe or the offensive instincts of a guy like Evan Bouchard. Like, he got to respect a guy that finds a way to still eat minutes like he has for a good team, a team that had themselves a 3-1 first-round lead going into last night.
Perplexed Oilers fan says, bad hit on Draisaitl, but Canadians are wussies and don't stand up for their own. So why would the NHL care?
Like Canadians, all of us? 33 million or whatever the number's at these days?
I mean, there's some pretty tough players on the Oilers team that I think, under different circumstances, probably would have. But we outlined the track record.
Yeah, like that's just like it or not. And I think most people would say not. Start to argue with the results. That's not part of this team's DNA. the retribution, the revenge factor. I think Chris Nalbuck has said it many times, right? From a physical, we'd rather just pay him back on the scoreboard, right? Draw a penalty, cash in this lethal power play, and be on your merry way to 2 straight Stanley Cup finals.
And you know what? Leon the German, he can handle his biz. Many times I've pointed out when he takes those bad penalties, hack on the foot, like he knows where to hit you.
Oh yeah.
At some point, I feel like Leon Draisaitl will get his, but not yet. Not yet. If the Oilers are down 4-1 and there's 3 minutes left, if Kreider's on the ice, I'm sure somebody might take a run, but not quite there yet. We'll take a break here. When we come back, more of your texts, 1-833-401-1440. Hey, Raptors back in action tonight, looking to get into their series. Got to win in Cleveland. That's the tough part. We can talk some Raptors. We can talk some CFL draft. The Elks had their draft yesterday. It is Fantasy Frenzy, brought to you by Will Hawk Beef Jerky.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Action Electrical Solar Team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy, designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
I won't shave till we bring home the cup.
And I like to do a shot for every playoff goal.
My jersey's not coming off until we're the city of champs again.
Want a playoff superstition that always wins? Pick up a bag of Wilhock beef jerky for every game. Because when it comes to the playoffs, where there's a Wilhock, there's a way.
Make every playoff game a Will Hockey game day with Wilhock beef jerky. Only available in Leduc. Get yours today because you don't bring home the cup with salad.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Would you like to be a part of history for the month of April? I'm kidding. Or as the kids say, bro, I'm joking. Would you like to help us set a record in April? Chill. Still kidding. At Northgate, we aren't trying to set any records or tell you how many vehicles we sell. And we really don't think you'd care. But what you will care about is this. Every dealer has the same costs. Trust me. GM does not have a favorite kid. You get to decide where you buy. 0% financing, a great selection, and of course, great people. Stop in and see us today. 13215 97th Street or business online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Hot coffee, hotter takes, and the sports stories that matter. Check out Kevin Carius weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Edmonton's Sports Leader, Sports 1440. Be part of the conversation. 833-401-1440.
Everything is going to be okay. If your debt has you feeling like you're in a free fall, you have options. I'm Dan McDicken, a licensed insolvency trustee with Faber. Becoming debt-free is possible, and a personal bankruptcy or consumer proposal will get you there. Schedule your free Faber Focus session at faber.ca today. You'll learn how a consumer proposal allows you to eliminate your debt by paying a percentage of the amount owed without interest. At Faber, we'll tackle your debt.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1. Saving you money, with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2. Water skiing, tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3. Saving you more money, with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well, restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact because our team is built on second chances and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Greger for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
I'm Rick Showers from Noble RV, and you'll notice something different about our store compared to the new RV stores. Our lot is full, bursting at the seams with quality used RVs for you to see. The new RV stores, well, their stuff is trickling in. For the most part, they're taking orders for trailers and motorhomes to be delivered at some future date.
At Noble, you can take yours home right away. Right, Rick?
That's right, Bob. Every RV on our lot is ready to go. Bring your truck and you can take it home with you. You could be enjoying the great outdoors this weekend if you want. And because every RV on our lot is one of a kind, it's worth it to take a look around. It's not like we have 20 of the exact same model.
That's what the new RV stores look like.
Not here, Bob. Every single one is different. The perfect used RV for your family is probably on our lot already. Why not pick it up before someone else does?
And that's Noble.
NobleRV.ca.
Who should start? Who needs to hit the bench? Find out with Fantasy Frenzy with Halley and Douglas. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by Will Hawk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky.
Fantasy Frenzy here on Sports 1440. Connor Halley, Brandon Douglas, Josh Fenwick with you here. See how quick I got to that after the break. I went too soon, actually.
I was going to say, so quick that you jumped the gun.
I jumped the gun. Sorry, Will Hawk Beef Jerky. You're the best in Alberta. Nay, Canada. We got a little talking to after our show yesterday.
Well, you did. I didn't.
Well,
I deferred blame. I said it was Josh's fault.
I blamed. Well, first we told Marty to kick rocks.
Yeah.
And then we
that
said,
was, part one, kick rocks.
Then it's Josh's fault or your fault?
I was willing to wear the blame for part two, but part three, it's Josh's
Then it was Josh's fault. And then I took some blame as well.
Well, whatever blame was left over, you happily ate up.
Yeah. It was actually the praise that came after.
Great show today, guys.
That was me.
Yeah, that was all the con.
So yeah, we're just going to jump onto it very quickly here. Thank you for joining us here on Fantasy Frenzy. Brought to you by Will Hawk Beef Jerky, the home of Alberta's best beef jerky. Go check them out. Only available in Leduc, willhawkbeefjerky.com. Lots of text rolling in here. 1-833-414-1440. Mostly positivity. Oilers fans pretty happy, except for maybe the third period and a few other things. We'll dive into that this segment for elksnation.ca, 2-weekly podcast with Eddie Steele and Declan Kruger, breaking down the green and gold, the most in-depth double football coverage you're going to find mostly anywhere. I will say it, anywhere. Check it out, elksnation.ca. That has the links to the videos, podcasts, and articles. And I can't wait to see the show on Friday, recapping the draft. In a position to go BPA, best player available, starting off with a linebacker, some Golden Bears sticking around the capital region. It's going to be a fun season when it all gets going. And also, if you want to let us know your thoughts on the new playoff format, feel free. Duke doesn't like it. I'm open to it. Josh doesn't like it either. He's worried the Stamps will be the 9th team. That's kind of humiliating. You know, one team that doesn't make the playoffs.
Well, it's just verbal meme is just John Travolta standing in the room of Pulp Fiction, like spinning around with his hands in the air, like the one team that doesn't make the CFL playoffs, looking for something to do.
Will Smith, John Travolta, the memes are there. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. For those who don't know, like the top two teams in each division will meet in a game. The winner advances to the semifinal. They get a bye. And then there's going to be the next 4 teams playing. The winner of that game will play the loser of the top 2 games, and then they'll play this. They'll all meet up.
It's almost like a little mini play-in
tournament,
but they give the name that they're all playoff teams, which I don't think helps the cause in the way they rolled it out yesterday. And you and I were just talking during the break, Connor, about the timing of the rollout of this.
Yeah.
And like, listen, you already have CFL people's attention because of the draft. Like, you don't need to double dip. Like, how over all this time you not learned any lessons from the NFL where you just create days for people to talk about you in the middle of the slowest part of your offseason. Schedule releases, random news drops from the league. Just like keep your name on the tip of people's tongue all the time. The CFL is like, oh, people are paying attention to us. All right, let's give them all of our information all at once.
Yeah, you got to tease it.
I'm not sure I necessarily agree with the approach, but that's fine. I'm just a schleb producing AM radio. They run the league. That's their job to do. Our job to talk about it.
I would be curious if they're like, because we don't know for sure, but was there some urgency in releasing this? Because, I look ahead. If you could have waited, 4 days at the latest, Stanley Cup Plus will be done on Sunday. Round 1. There's going to be a lull. So, you could have owned that day. You could have teased it over the weekend. Big news coming, blah, 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 blah. And then drop the news. And it could be what we talk about for the entirety of the day. Because, playoffs are taking an off day. But anyways, I'm looking forward to it. Nothing beats a little.
I'm looking forward to the season
day.
getting going as much as the next guy, or very close to. Maybe Army Darrell will actually have some cold beers for us at the tailgate instead of warm ones. But getting up there, taking a spin around the concourse at halftime from the press box, mingling with the people, sun shining out on the seats at Commonwealth. Yeah.
Sunshine and cold drinks. What's better?
Nothing.
Few things, but
no,
not many. Not many.
Nothing.
1-833-401-1440. Let's get into the inbox here. We're on Mexico. Great handle. Says, you guys want to know the worst thing about the third period last night? Even after we had no offensive zone time in Anaheim, and the coaches are going to be patting themselves on the back for what a brilliant system that was in the third. No goals. As an Oilers fan, I hate we play that way and let the foot off the gas. I feel like the players do the same thing also. Well, after the game, Chris Knobloch doesn't coach that.
That wasn't the game plan.
Wasn't their game plan. And he told them, like, on the bench, like, hey, we can make passes.
Plays.
Like, he said that specifically, encouraging them. I can actually give you the quote because I transcribed it earlier today, just for fun. Well,
nothing else, just for fun.
Just for fun. But yeah, he's like, well, once it's happened, as a coach, he doesn't see the point in going back and saying, hey, you could have done this because, per him, those things won't happen again. That's done. But going forward, encouraging them to make a play, skate it out, make the pass. What they do, a little bit out of his control. So it's just reminders that they have the abilities, they have the talent, they can make those passes. If that was being like the coach's message, all right, guys, let's not ice it, but let's get it into their zone. Let's work on flipping it out, the exact amount of power we need, the touch. That would be awful. But it's Brown Mexico. I agree. Like the third period, like all things considered, a little annoying. Braden says Trent Frederick cannot go back in the lineup. Can't skate. He's not physical. Next guy who should go in is Clattenburg if he can. Well, I'm sure everybody would love to see Clattenburg out there just throwing hits. And he and Doc, I tweeted it last night. Doc is going to sell some jerseys in this town. When he starts throwing the hits out there, he's a fun player to watch. Jane Victoria texting him. Beside the first period, Duke's Ducks outplayed the Oilers. Ingram made a lot of key saves. The Oilers need to play 60 in Game 6 or they'll get smoked. Hoping for a Game 7. So he's got outmuscled all series. He's too weak to get the puck or win a battle on the PK. But he's the best option for now. Well, you know what? They're never going to play a great 60. That would be a perfect hockey game. That doesn't happen.
Connor, it's simply too much to ask.
Now, 45, 50 maybe?
That'd be a good start.
I think that would be enough. 20's not great.
The thing is, about 24 minutes total proved enough last night.
Well, if you play really good in those minutes.
It's not black and white. There's not just good and bad. It's a spectrum.
Yeah.
So if your 20 minutes are far enough up in the green portion of the graph, even if the rest is just hovering around middle, yeah, that's enough sometimes. Not all the time, but it was last night. And you have to give the Oilers credit because they did come out with such ferocity and vigor. Like, yes, they scored first in every game this series. They also have given up the lead and given up a lead, if not several leads in every game this series. And they didn't last night. The game was never closer than a 2-goal deficit, and it was only 2-goal deficit for a minute or two before when Edmonton or Anaheim scored their power play goal. The Oilers responded in kind with their own. So you give them credit for that they didn't, even win in the nature of them sitting back and making life a little easier on Anaheim and not exactly, pushing them to the brink or to the limit of, from a physical standpoint, the will to play. They didn't give up any more goals. So they do get credit, even if it wasn't maybe the prettiest nature and what we as viewers, those that are fans of the team, want to see from them.
It was a good bounce back. Because that's when I kind of thought, okay, the Oilers have to find a way to stop the momentum for the Ducks. Matt Savoy draws the penalty. Hooking on Trouba. Did he go down easy? Maybe. He's a smaller guy. But good on them to draw the penalty and then go out there and execute. Because, yeah, we've seen it. I think there was probably a few Oilers fans a little nervous till Draisaitl buried that one.
Especially considering, like I said, that power play did not look very good.
No,
up until that exact moment that Bouchard held the line and they scored the goal. Because, I said, this might be a little bit of a momentum turn. The Ducks can get right back on the attack after killing this off. And it was, I can't remember how much time is left in the power play. Not a ton. That would have been, that could have been another tipping point in the hockey game. But we're left with smoke in our hands there because the Oilers cashed it in.
Penalty was at 8:42. Goal was at 10:13. So 30 seconds-ish left.
Yeah.
49. Yeah. I mean, and and kind of the way things had gone on the two previous goals, like the Draisaitl shot with the tip, the Hyman shot. I was like, maybe the power play can take note. Just simplify.
Yeah,
throw it on net.
100%.
Not in their nature. They're too good to think the way schmucks like you and I do. Darcy says, good morning, boys. I don't care what series, what team, the NHL officiating is what it is. It happens to both teams. It's got to be one of the worst professional sports officiating. Not the worst, but I'm sure it ranks up there. It's going to happen to your favorite team, and it's going to happen to the other team. Adjust and move on. And after the game, they were talking about it, Duke, and they kind of were bringing up how refs right now are kind of timid, like because players are selling things. And they showed the Savoy play. They showed the Granlund and Draisaitl play. Like, the refs are a little unsure on things. That's fine. Like, if there's a hook, a high stick, if there's a play from behind where a guy could potentially be paralyzed and break his neck, I don't think there should be any hesitation. And if we're all for player safety and trying to get things called right, Duke, we already have it's called a major and it can be reviewed and put down to a minor. Why not have that for hitting from behind?
Yeah.
It takes no time. Like, if it's 30 seconds, you can see what it is. Maybe you have the eye in the sky, someone in Toronto to watch it and be like, hey, guys, let's take a look at this one. That was nasty. Or, hey, nothing he could do there. Player spun into it. Didn't even hit the board. Sold it. I feel like not for every penalty, but, the high sticks where, we always review it for follow through, things like that. The plays along the boards, I don't know. I feel like they could clean it up and just make sure they get it right. Some people might not want to slow the game down.
I'll just to Darcy's text specifically. Darcy, I know, I'm just going to assume you watch more hockey than any other sport. Every single sport thinks they have the worst officials in all of sports. Connor, tell me I'm wrong. Watch an NFL game and follow along on Twitter, like a primetime game, and follow along on Twitter.
That's pass interference.
That is the worst call I've ever seen. That call decided a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Right. Let's go back to Eagles Chiefs a few years ago.
Didn't call it all game.
The MLB has believed their officials are so bad they have installed robot help for calling balls and strikes. The oldest principle of the game. That's how bad they think, and they're still mess things up. In the NBA, my feed this week has just been plugged with people complaining about the Oklahoma City Thunder and how their games are officiated, particularly reigning MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Everybody, whatever you're watching, the officials are the worst. If it's against your team, it's the worst. If it's for your team, they're doing their best. People make mistakes, right? That's sport. And frankly, Connor, that's why I do not want to see robot refs, umps, anything. I believe that human error is a part of sport. Now, should things be more reviewable? We've already seen a lot of progress in that fact. And a play like last night, the Kreider hit on Draisaitl, yeah, something should be called there where you have a chance to look back at it and say, oh, that was a little bit worse than we thought. Yeah, that's definitely a penalty. As opposed to, as I said, maybe something happens as you just laid out and you look it back and it's like, you know what? That wasn't something he could avoid. It was just incidental contact, hockey play, whatever. Take even if it's just a 2-minute minor, take it off the board. I'm here for that. But to just completely take the human element out, I think that kind of takes away from it being sport.
And I mean, I think that no matter what happens, you can review it and make a decision, and the fan base that it goes against is still going to say the refs suck. That's the way it goes. I do think also, though, like just talking about these sorts of things, players know when they're pushing the line, right? They know they can get away with, and no more than SGA right now. He's getting the call, so why would he stop? It was like when Steph Curry, we used to lean towards players when he's shooting threes and get fouled, and he drain it because he's so good. And it's like, oh, +1. Why wouldn't you do it? So, I mean, the players are always going to do that. It always makes the job tough on officials. So, Curry doesn't get calls, MTR? Never?
Balls.
He used to draw a few in his time. I respect it because he's, get that extra point. Worst whistle in the NBA. But hey, I will say this, Duke. I know I'm with you. I think like taking it out of the ref's hands totally is tough. Baseball, I like it. The strike zone is right there. Some of these umps are getting humiliated too when they get it so wrong. We'll take a quick break here. When we come back, more text 1-833-401-1440. It's Fantasy Frenzy brought to you by Will Hawk Beef Jerky.
Do you sit around at work listening to sports radio all day? That's right, my friend. There's no shame in it. It's the good life. And we're not here to snitch. Hey, if your company advertised on Sports 1440, you could be the one listening for your company's ad every day. Now you've got an excuse to listen to Sports 1440 all day. It's part of the job. Sounds like someone's getting a promotion. Email Gregor at sports1440.ca and let's get to work for you.
When my husband and I said until death do us part, I never expected to find myself at the doorstep of divorce. I was facing an uncertain financial future, expensive lawyer bills, and most importantly, I was concerned for the well-being of my kids. My spouse and I turned to Fairway Divorce Solutions for help. Fairway walked us through a step-by-step process, allowing us to develop a clear roadmap to resolve financial concerns and provide a proactive co-parenting strategy. It helped us avoid chaos and courtrooms.
For a no-cost consultation, visit fairwaydivorce.com.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at hughescarwash.com.
Good to go. With Mortgages to Go, you'll be good to go. Mortgagestogo.ca says yes when the banks say no. That's why Alberta has trusted Mortgages to Go for over 23 years. If you need cash and have equity in your home, you're approved instantly, guaranteed. Call 1-888-888-5998. That's 1-888-888-5998. With Mortgages to Go, you'll say, good to go.
It's playoff time, and we've got a lot to talk about. This is Andrew Walker on Edmonton Sports Leader, Sports 1440. Tune in after every Edmonton playoff game for the Legacy Heating and Cooling postgame show. Visit the experts at legacyheating.ca.
Cantork has turned 25. That's right, 25 years of building tools so good, they practically torque themselves. Hard work and innovation equals problem solved. See our latest designs at cantork.com.
Diamond Rides is one of Alberta's premier specialty charter companies. With our luxury motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation services. Our seatbelt equipped top-of-the-line motor coaches have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel needs across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
One app, triple the action. Play Alberta is proof that good things do come in threes. Whether you're into playing any of our exciting casino games, betting on your favorite professional sports teams from around the world, or buying into Canada's biggest lotteries, Play Alberta is the province's only app to do it all. Download today and discover a new way to play. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
50-50-50. Right now at Papa John's, you order carry out, you get 50% off the pizza, loaded with the toppings you love. You want pepperoni? You got it. You want the works? Done. Always made with our fresh, never frozen dough. Half the price for the pizza you already love. When you come grab it, just use promo code CO50. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. 50% off regular menu price pizzas. Carry out only. Use promo code CO50. Participating locations, restrictions may apply.
Why should you drive a Subaru? How about durability, style, and an excellent customer experience from the moment you step into the showroom? And how about accolades, including awards for numerous 2026 Subaru models from both AutoTrader and JD Power? But don't just take my word for it. Take a test drive and you'll see why the Subaru name is recognized and renowned for quality. To learn more, visit Subaru.ca. Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru.
Ah, yes, the majestic air swing. Don't fret, Colonial Golf Club welcomes all skill levels, even those who struggle to make contact. Colonial's championship course is designed to challenge pros, entertain amateurs, and provide just enough hazards to keep things interesting.
Oops.
Well, at least the Ducks are impressed. Colonial Golf Club, just south of Edmonton down 50th Street. Book your tee time now at colonial.ca.
Get the inside scoop for your team on Fantasy Frenzy with Halley and Douglas on Sports 1440.
Presented by Will Hawk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky.
11:44. Welcome back. It's Fantasy Frenzy here. I'm going to redact my Steph Curry comment, and I'm going to put it as James Harden. Others, Joel Embiid and SGA, kind of the free throw merchants here. I was just referencing Steph shooting threes and leaning in. But as Josh pointed out, he's an outside shooter. He's not going to draw as many as some of these other players. And really, like his career high was per game 6. That's wild. So I retract my statement, MTR.
Maybe if Steph wasn't such a soft player, he could get draw more calls.
I still remember him leaning in when he's shooting threes to get that extra.
And maybe he's just bad at it, so he didn't get the calls.
Well, I don't think he's really bad at anything.
Dunking.
Could he dunk the tennis ball?
Oh, he can. I'm sure he can dunk. He just doesn't do it.
Yeah, we're like, he's so small. What is he, 6'3"? 6'1"? I wish. It's Fantasy Frenzy, brought to you by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, home of Alberta's best beef jerky. WilhaukBeefJerky.com. Only available in Leduc. Northside Lou says, low tide, you're dead wrong on Frederick. Wasted contract by a mile. Well, coming up next, you can send that again, Lou. Low tide will see that. I'll pass it.
No, he won't. He doesn't have his laptop.
What?
Is that what Declan just said?
Well, I was.
Low tide forgot his laptop today.
I was in my own world. Okay, well, he won't see that, Lou.
Declan will read it for him, though.
Everybody needs their laptops, too. We can't just lend him one.
You can use mine. I don't need it.
Well,
I'll just make Declan do the podcast for me.
All right. So shall it be written, so shall it be done. On the lowdown today, Kevin McCurdy will be by. That's all I know for sure. But I know they'll talk a CFL draft. Declan will give you guys a rundown on the Elks selections. And then lots of talk with the Edmonton Oilers getting the big win last night over the Ducks, forcing Game 6. King of Four Nasty says, can we all agree that Duke roots for the worst teams in pretty much every sport?
Is that true?
He's a Jays fan.
I'm pretty sure the King of Fort Nasty and I root for this. Or no, is he a Broncos fan?
I have no idea.
I'm trying to I thought he was a Texans fan like me, but maybe he's a Broncos fan. Can't remember. What's wrong with the Texans? I feel like I just root for all the nothing burger teams. Teams that nobody ever thinks about. You know, like John Hamm and Mad Men. I don't think about you at all. The Ducks, the Texans. I suppose not the Blue Jays, but the Raptors. They probably fall in that category. Them and the Cavaliers haven't played a primetime game yet. Both their weekend games are like at 11 o'clock in the morning.
That's the way it used to be. It's the DeMar and Lowry special.
And it's the same with the Texans, right? Come wild card weekend, you better believe they're playing in that Saturday afternoon time slot.
They're so good at it. I should also mention, just speaking of after the Lowdown Flow Tide, it's the Gregor Show. Mike Rupp will be by. No one talks about the Raptors, but we'll have Josh Lewenberg, TSN Raptors reporter.
Nice, good get.
Yaremchuk, Farhan Lalji's going to come by. Mark Spector, Cam Tate. We're going to try to get Derek Van Diest as well, but not sure if he's traveling. He was just too tied up yesterday with all that's going on, but try to get DVD on the show as well. Lots of text to get to here. Hey guys, worst refs ever? I'll raise you. Saints versus Rams NFC Championship. Saints were robbed of a Super Bowl appearance. Trailer Park Ryan. Don't get me started on that one. That was a really bad call. But the Saints got the ball back. Didn't score. Went to overtime. The Saints won the toss, I do believe. Didn't score. I think Breeze threw an interception. Now, that call screwed them, 100%. But they could have stopped the Rams and won. The Rams went on to hit a 48-yarder. The Saints could have won in overtime, but threw an interception that led to the game-winning field goal. Back then, I think was what? I don't even remember. But the overtime rules, I think that field goal would have won it for them. Touchdown for sure. But you threw a pick. So they totally got screwed, no doubt about it. But they had their chance still. How about that? Was it Packers Seahawks with the replacement refs? When one ref called touchdown, the other said
they're standing like nose to nose, and one's got interception and one's got touchdown. Classic.
Yeah. The problem with that hit on Leo is not the actual hit and the fact that it doesn't get called. It's the fact that it doesn't get called when it's 4-1 and that player is clearly trying to injure. Dude, just player profile on Kreider from what you've seen. And, you know, obviously he's newer to the Ducks, but been in the NHL for a long time.
Yeah.
Dirty play? Dirty player? Dirty intent?
I don't know about dirty player, but he, like, for a guy that's smaller and kind of looks smaller out there, right? He's not a towering presence. He definitely has an edge to his game. Like someone brought up this morning, and it's a fair point. Like, and accidentally on purpose gets used with a guy like Kreider a lot of the time, where he slides into goalies because he's always at the net front, driving to the net, that type of play. Took out Carey Price in the Eastern Conference Final. I think it was 2014 was the year that pretty much ended the Habs' chances in that series. So like, I think he plays the game hard, and in a spot like that, he's definitely trying to get an extra lick on a guy. Now, is he trying to intentionally bury Draisaitl headfirst in the boards from 2 feet away? No. I'm sorry. I don't think any hockey player tries to do that to another. Bad results happen. That he obviously did that on purpose to play. I'm not sure he wanted that type of result from it, and thankfully nothing serious resulted. So he's a player that plays on the edge and certainly crosses it from time to time.
MTR says he dunked in a game. Why are we attacking my GOAT? No attacking. I love Steph Curry.
You and me both.
I love Del Curry. I forget his brother's name.
Seth.
Seth's cool.
Lesser Seth.
I like Del though. Del was sick with the Raptors. There's a little gray spot in his hair. Beauty. Fellas, the time of year. Kentucky Derby weekend. If you have Frank on, ask about the big 3-year-old Big Curl. Could be a Canadian Derby winner. Well, we're actually going to have Frank on Friday for a segment. So, we'll talk about the Derby.
Really?
Hype it up. He's coming in on Friday.
I'm pumped.
He's going to bring donuts, too.
I'm even more pumped.
Frank, you don't have to bring donuts. But he gave me an option between two places. I'll tell you, it was the easiest pick I could have ever made.
Is it the same place that we bought some from via Sean Smith for his kids' baseball fundraiser?
No.
Did you buy any of those?
I did, yeah. That's going to be next week, I think they roll in.
Yeah, there's going to be 10 dozen boxes here because everybody's the same idea where we're just like, yeah, we'll buy them for the office. I bought some. Carius bought a couple. Sean bought a couple. You bought one or two.
Just one. I didn't buy them for the office, though.
Oh, really? You're taking them home?
Yeah, 100%.
For your wife?
For me.
Oh,
and my wife.
Selfish.
Those donuts are so good.
They are good.
There's only one location in the city. If you know what we're talking about, I would say some of the best donuts you'll have. But everyone's going to probably leave a couple around, so I'll just be selfish. I think I bring in enough treats.
You're going to 100%, Connor. You won't hear any arguments there, but I do find it's just funny. Like the face value is funny where you've got your dozen, you run them out to your car and leave them there for the afternoon on your floorboards so they're not sitting in the sun. And then you come back in here and pilfer through everybody else's boxes on the counter.
Exactly. Oh, great. Thanks, guys.
Oh, thanks, guys. This is great. I love these.
Ranger Nick says, Kreider is not a small guy, and he's not a dirty. That accidentally on purpose is a perfect example.
Like, okay, so, and I kind of felt like catching myself with like, I think he's 6'2". And he's very stocky. But this is just my perspective. When I watch him on the ice, he does not look 6'2". I don't know if it's his skating stance is a little bit over, like lower or something, but he's a very stout guy for sure. So yeah, Ranger Nick, you're right. He's not a small guy because he's very well built and he's like 6'2", but just at eye test, doesn't seem like the biggest guy.
As I was saying, I like Steph Curry and Del Curry. Patty and Spruce says he likes chicken curry. Good for you.
Chicken curry.
It's not bad.
I love curry.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. Spicier the better. Test me. And then I'll test my plumbing.
Do we have any, Carius throws out he wants eggs and he gets a sandwich brought off. Do we have anyone who can bring Duke some spicy curry? He wants to test it.
I need the naan.
With the naan.
Fresh naan.
Greg says, the refs definitely missed a huge call on Dry, but I'm glad they're not calling a tight game. The Oilers got away with so many stick infractions and slashes last night. Plus, the Ducks power play outperformed the Oilers in this series. So I prefer less calls than more. Greg from Lacombe. You have some good points there. There's certain things I don't mind being missed. But that should have been a penalty. And I would say the same thing if it was Draisaitl on Kreider. Like, was the NHL just, for whatever reason, just has to make it happen. Call it. Lucas says, guys, Kalmar Bakery Donuts are the best in the region. Hands down, worth the short drive. Lucas. The problem is I go out towards that region maybe once a week. But I think they're always closed on Sundays, which is fair.
No post on Sundays.
It's fair. I get it. Just for me, selfishly. King of Four Nasty says Sherwood Park Bakery. You will not be disappointed. So a long drive, though. King.
Are these donut recommendations or curry recommendations? If I'm going to the Sherwood Park Bakery, I'll walk in and be like, I'll have your hottest curry, please. They're escorting me out.
That's a jail
Zip
sentence.
ties. Yeah.
What are you doing here? Music means we're done. Time for the 23-hour break. Up next, it is the Lowdown with Lowtide, followed by the Jason Gregor Show. We got Jays tonight. Afternoon game, so no Jays baseball, unfortunately. That's cool. Fox Sports Radio all night long.
If only we had a way of letting, because Kevin asked me the same question. If only there was a way in the studio of letting everyone know, like a whiteboard.
Wait till we get that whiteboard. Let's get to a Sports 1440 update with the Duke, brought to you by Will Hawk Beef Jerky. Go check them out. Only available in Leduc. It's Canada's best beef jerky. WillHawkBeefJerky.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Three-game slate in the Stanley Cup playoffs tonight. Montreal and Tampa Bay go at it from Florida. That series tied at 2 games apiece. Puck drop just after 5 o'clock. At 5:30, the Penguins try and keep their postseason alive, trailing the Flyers 3-2. That one going from Philadelphia. And the nightcap, 8 o'clock scheduled puck drop between the Mammoth and Golden Knights from Sin City. That series also notched at 2 games apiece. Finals for this year's Vezina Trophy, with the NHL's top goaltender announced this morning. Andrei Vasilevsky leading all goaltenders with 39 wins with the Tampa Bay Lightning. New York Islanders' Ilya Sorokin, who led the league with 7 shutouts. And Jeremy Swayman, U.S. Olympian from this past season, rounds out the trio of finalists. IIHF U18 World Championship quarterfinal action earlier on this morning. Canada falling to Sweden 4-2. The Latvians upset United States 5-2. Host Slovaks beat Denmark 7-1. And the Czechs get by Finland 2-1. In the association tonight, Toronto Raptors back at it for playoff action in Cleveland against the Cavaliers. Tip-off at 5:30. That series tied at 2 games apiece. Home club winning both respective games. Orlando looks to punch their ticket through to the second round when they take on the top-seeded Pistons, leading the series 3-1. And Houston tries to keep their season alive, visiting the Lakers in Los Angeles, in that series 3-1. Toronto Temple will kick off their preseason action as they in their inaugural WNBA season against the Connecticut Sun. And in the majors today, Toronto Blue Jays rubber match against the Red Sox from downtown Toronto. First pitch just after 1 o'clock will be Eric Lauer on the bump for the Bluebirds. Brian Bello countering for the Bo Sox. Coming up on Sports 1440, it is the Lowdown with Lowtide. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
At GS Construction, we're multitaskers. We've got lots of projects going on all around Edmonton and area. Different teams across the city working towards the same outcome. Installing today what will serve generations to come. It's a rewarding career and the work never stops. That's why GS Construction is always on the lookout for great people to join us. Right now, we're looking for experienced topmen, pipe layers, operators, and surveyors. So if you want to feel valued, empowered, and engaged in your work, visit gsconstruction.ca today.
I won't shave till we bring home the cup. And I like to do a shot for every playoff goal.
My jersey's not coming off until we're the city of champs again.
Want a playoff superstition that always wins? Pick up a bag of Will Hawk beef jerky for every game. Because when it comes to the playoffs, where there's a Will Hawk, there's a way.
Make every playoff game a Will Hockey game day with Will Hawk beef jerky. Only available in Leduc. Get yours today because you don't bring